My story? Parallel to the story of millions, I was birthed into a religious family. It was ingrained in me from an early age to believe in God, to go to church, and follow all the rules. But I was blinded. I was desperately spewing the poison of my own point of view, all of my own ideas. And sadly, what I didn't know was just following all the rules and trying to make others see my point of view just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to satisfy my starving heart. An emptiness was growing inside. There was a darkness that was just overshadowing me. I was hurting. And from that place of hurt, I began to hate. I began to hurt others that had the audacity to hold a different view than I did, all the while thinking I was standing up for my beliefs. And just when I had reached my lowest point, suddenly, like a blinding light, I heard a voice inside of me asking a question. That question has changed my life forever. That question still rings in my head. Why are you hurting me? I'd hurt a lot of people by this point, but nobody with this kind of power that could speak right to my heart. But who is this man? I had to know, so I asked in return, who are you? In the reply, he said, I'm Jesus, the one that you're hurting. And in an instant, my life went from hurting and hating to one filled with joy and love. This one encounter with Jesus changed everything about me. It changed the entire direction, the entire trajectory of my life forever. He even changed my name. These days, my friends call me Paul. And from this life-changing encounter with Jesus, I was compelled to travel the world, telling people everywhere about him. Churches were planted in places called Ephesus, Antioch, and Rome. And from these early seeds of revival and a pioneer spirit, churches and monasteries sprung up all over Europe. Men like St. Patrick of Ireland shared the profound love of God with a nation in darkness, transforming hearts forever. And by the 18th century, the First Great Awakening was sweeping through England. Men like John Wesley, moved by the same powerful force of the pioneer spirit, was actively sharing his faith with his countrymen. And a missionary movement was birthed and set sail for the shores of an early America. And by the beginning of the 1800s, revival was breaking out, and the Second Great Awakening was underway. Charles Finney, James Brainerd Taylor, and many ordinary men and women were used in extraordinary ways by God. And into the 1900s, D.L. Moody, Charles Spurgeon, Hudson Taylor, and countless others carried the torch of revival and church planting throughout the earth. And even in recent times, God has raised up and has used men like Billy Graham and Bill Bright, filling stadiums with hungry men and women desiring to encounter Jesus. And like no other time in history, God is releasing the greatest prayer and missions movement the world has ever seen. An urgency to see the return of Christ is being awakened throughout the earth. And marked by this pioneer spirit, churches are being planted, and the gospel is being translated into every known dialect, and the love of God is transforming hearts and lives across our globe. And just think, all of this has happened and is happening because one encounter with Jesus on a road long ago. One glimpse of the worth and the value of Jesus, and nations are transformed. The pioneer spirit is sparked on the inside of us, and we can't help but give up our comforts to tell others about him. One encounter with Jesus, and we understand our true identity as those that are valued and beloved of God, accepted and cherished. We can't not share our story, his story. This is the pioneer spirit.